sound check. Cool, looks like we're working. So welcome to Wednesday night's race, Division 5, round 2. Looking forward to seeing some good close racing. We did last week, certainly. But just while we're waiting for a few of the drivers to come out on their hot laps, just want to talk through the Haas team. Didn't get a chance to talk about them last week. I think I got cut off just as the safety car was coming in. So yeah, just to start off with them, we have Cav, who's here tonight, and Tom Putty's also here tonight. So we've got both regular drivers out there. Just to talk to you a little bit about them, Cav joined DTR at the start of this season. I'm sure he finished in the top 5 last week, so a good result for him. Tom wasn't here last week, but he was a driver with us last season. And he was in Division 5. I think he scored about 25 points last year, so he's going to look to try and improve on that. I don't think you'll see him necessarily high up in qualifying, but what we will see is he will be consistent in the race, generally penalty free. So yeah, it would be interesting to see how he gets on. So good luck to the Haas boys. And let's jump on board. I think Jens is going to be the first over the line, so we'll jump on board and I'll talk you through this Spanish track. Cool, get the lap data on so we can see how they're improving as the time goes on. Let's jump on board with Jens. He was our pole sitter last week. So very tricky turns 1 and 2. You have to carry a lot of speed in, but you have to get the angle of your car right or you can spin. So you will see that they will come off the throttle a little bit around here. Try and keep it tight. Don't stick on that curve too long because it will spin the car. But lovely so far from Jens. Again, on the brakes, keep it tight. And power your way out the corner. Move it over to the right, ready for the sharp left-hander. And then down the hill. Easy on the traction. And then a left turn uphill. So you've got to be careful on the power. Watch the sausage curb on the outside. Keep it left. You can go flat out round this right-hander, which I think he does just about. Switch it over to the right-hand side for a long left-hander. This is the new layout on this track, if you haven't seen it yet. Into another long right-hander, and then you come into the end of Sector 3 with a couple of chicanes. But it looks like we've got a blockage for Jens here, and that will ruin his lap. So we will see if he goes again, but let's jump on board with Wardy, who's just behind him. So just finishing these chicanes, you've got to chuck a lot of speed into these corners to get a good exit. Wardy does. Jens sets a 121, but we know he got hindered. Wardy sets the pace, 118.3, so good start from him. We've got a Haas coming over the line next, which must be Tom, who sets a 118.8. So let's go to the McLaren of Rel Jordan. He's just coming out of Sector 1 into the uphill section. Needed a little lift just to keep it tight into the corner as Racing Ryan puts it on pole with an 18.3. We saw him win the race, I believe, last week, and it was a good solid race from him, so not surprised to see him up there. We'll see what Jens can do with his hot lap. See if he can get pole again this week. Tricky Sector 3 for Jordan here, but gets through it. He's on the power into the final corner. He's coming over the line. It's not going to be pole, but it's a 119.7, so he's up there. I think he'll want to improve on that as qualifying goes on. Let's see if we can find a Red Bull. I think he's set his time, so he might be on an in lap. Yes, he is. So let's jump on with Lil Mikey. So he's on his out lap, but he will be coming around to start his flying lap, so we'll stick with him. And he came 3rd last week from memory. He qualified in 10th, made a really good drive, just stayed out of trouble and picked up the pieces really. So solid drive from him. I think he'll want to qualify a little bit higher than 10th, so let's see what he can do here. Good, nice and tight into the first corner. Use the curb on the left. And the car will run out wide there. If you can use that inside curb, it will hook you round a little bit. But he kept the power down. Full throttle on the exit. It's good so far from Mikey. It's clean. Gets the apex. Good exit. Got to be so careful in this uphill section. He is. Right amount of throttle. It's good from him so far. Keeps it tight. A little lift, I think. But he's carried a lot of speed through. So this is a good lap so far. Hands out wide. He's gone purple in the second sector. So we'll be looking to try and chuck this on pole early. Good on the power, nice and controlled. I think Reliot might have spun it in sector 1. That's good from the chicanes as well. So it's all about the exit round this last corner then. This looks like a solid lap. Can he take pole? Not quite, but he's up there. He's taken third. 18.4, great lap from Mikey. Let's see if Brandon's in the pit. There is a McLaren going, a Mercedes going round, and it's Skipper, who is our Division 6 reserve tonight. He had a good race last week actually. Was unfortunate with the spin, who I later found out was actually his son that spun him, so I'm sure he had a few words after the race. But he's back, he's fighting again. And again, looks like a solid lap up to this point from what we've seen. Keeps it tight to the inside, gets on the power early. Nice control, and Nellboy with a 17.8. He's put a marker on it. That's going to be a big time to chase. Very neat from Skipper around these tricky chicanes, and a good exit. Let's see where he can put it. Not quick enough for pole, but it still looks like a decent lap. It is. It's a 1:19.5, so goes into 10th for now. Let's see who's on a hot lap, and this is Jens, who is up on his previous time. There's an 18.4, goes into 4th, so he'll want to improve on that. He will want pole. I'm pretty sure he was pole in the pre-season race in France. He was pole last week. Unfortunately, he didn't even make it to the first corner. He got squeezed and was out the race early, so he'll be looking for an improvement this week. Let's have a look at Guncher, see if he's on a flyer. Looks like he is so far. Keeps it nice and tight. On the power, nice and early again. Gets it right. Hangs it out to the right hand side. Cuts into the apex. Got to be careful on the power down here, and he is. Good exit. Again, nice and clean through that section. Mercedes does well to get out of the way there. And again, another clean section from Guncher. So this could be another good lap. Haven't seen any purple sectors yet, but that 17.8 is going to be hard to beat. Nell's put a stormer of a lap in there. He must have been practicing. But these chicanes are really, really important to your lap time. You can gain 3/10, you can lose 3/10. If you get it slightly wrong, those sausage curbs can really push you out, and you can beat your car on the left-hand side. But this looks it's okay from Guncher. I think he'll want to improve on that. It's a 19.2 from him, puts him 11th. And let's just quickly run down the order. I think we'll jump on with Reliot, who's... I think he might have spun it there a little bit earlier. We saw some yellow flags when we were on board with someone else, and he has bailed out of the lap. So not happy with that. Jordan's coming back around. He's 8/10 up, and he was a 19.7. So he's looking to try and break that 17 mark. A little bit wide on the exit. He's not going to break the 18s, but he does improve on his time, and he goes into 11th. So again, we'll quickly run through the order. Let's see if I can find someone on a hot lap. Guncher might be going again here actually. He looks like he's just short of a 10th up on his time. But we've got Nellboy in pole currently, 17.8. Racing Ryan with an 18.3. Wardy just behind him with a very similar time. Jens Hopper with an 18.4. Little Mikey in 5th with an 18.4. Very close to the next two drivers, Dopey Man and Reap. Tom Putty, 18.8. Brandon with an 18.9. And then Axel makes up the top 10 with an 18.9. Gunther does decide to come in. And Axel looks like he's 6/10 up on his time, so he will move up the board with an 18.3. And he's up into third, but that has just been beaten. Is that Brandon? I think Brandon just came over the line with an 18. So a solid lap from him, and he will want to be as high up that grid as he possibly can. He was a bit unfortunate last week. Safety cars didn't really help him, but he will be looking for more points. He did hang around, did claim some points at the end of last week, so yeah, he'll want to improve on that for sure. Is Tom on a hot lap? I think he's in sector 3. Let's see how he's getting on. Oh, and his teammates spun, and I think it's yeah, he's had to pull out of the lap. It's unfortunate. Axel looks like he's coming in. Ryan is on an in lap, I believe, and Reap missed him. He was 6/10 up. He puts it in second. He's the second driver into the 17s. So Nell and Reap are putting some blinding laps. Going to be hard to catch. And Composite looks like he's 2/10 up on his previous time here. He might be on an in lap. But Composite, believe he's a reserve driver from Division 6 as well, and often teams up with Skipper, I believe. Again, he's another driver that will be solid all race long. Doesn't tend to get himself into any trouble, and generally ends in the points just because of that. He stays out of trouble, keeps it between the white lines, doesn't get any penalties. And that really flings him up the leaderboard. So going to be interesting to see how those two get on tonight. Let's just see to the end of the lap. Yeah, nice and tight into that first chicane. Again, nice and tight. That's perfect through there. But he is coming in the pits. So who is on a hot lap? I think Reap might be on his in lap. Yeah, he's just coming in. We've got a Red Bull coming round, and that's Dopey Man on an out lap, so let's join him. And he came second in last week's race, so again, he's going to want to see himself higher up the board than 9th, so let's stick with him. So he's on an 18.4 at the moment. I think he's going to want to take half a second if he can off of that. I think he'll want to be in the top 3, so very tidy through there, and put his car in exactly the right places. Using the track, getting out wide. Yeah, nice and tight to the inside curb, and on the power early. Again, hits the apex. This is really tidy so far. Got to be careful of that sausage curb. He's done well to keep that on track. Normally that does spit you out, so very good control through there. Comes over to the right hand side, chucks it into the left hander. Got to be so patient on the throttle. Gets good traction out of there. Again, nice and tight, that was perfect. Swings it out to the right, pulls it back in left, that's perfect as well. Just a bit too much sausage curb there, but he's done alright. He's got away with it. And now you fling it round to come over the line, and he improves by a 10th, but it is enough to fling him up into 5th place. So yeah, not too bad. I think he'd be happy with that. And on board with Skipper, he's 2/10 up at the moment. In fact, let's join Wardy, because I think he has just started a hot lap. He has. Carries a nice amount of speed through there. Nice and tight. And again, the car pushes you wide because you're full on the throttle out of there. Uses a lot of the track. It's good placement. He's 2/10 up so far. You can hear him having to upshift. You can lose the car through there if you're too eager on the power, and he chucks a lot of speed into that corner. Very aggressive so far. I mean, it's going to be his last lap, I think. So he's given it absolutely everything. Might even pick up a little slipstream here if he's lucky. Has a little lift. Might get a little toe, but let's see if he gets out of the way. Keeps it nice and tight. Is carrying so much speed into these corners. This is a very good aggressive lap so far. He wants that pole position. And he's just spun it. I think he might have just pulled out because I think the Williams just stayed in his way. Let's watch his teammate Jens. He's just starting a hot lap. And again, I think he's going to want to break that 17 mark. He is definitely going to be wanting pole. So again, he's putting a lot of speed through these corners. Nice and tidy. Upshifts into 5th. Keeps it tight, and that's good on that curb. It hooks you round. So you'll see he doesn't have to lift through there. That curb just swings you round. Same with this one. You don't want to be on it too long though, because it will spit you out. And you can see Jens is on the power a lot earlier out of there. So great sector 1 from him. Keeps it tight. On the power early. Good traction. You've got to be so patient on the throttle up there. He's done very well. Sticks it out to the left hand side. Nelboy improves on his time to a 17.7. I'm sorry now for missing both your pole laps, but let's see if Jens can improve on it. Yeah, very patient through this corner. Gets good traction. Chucks a lot of speed into this corner. It's all about these chicanes now, and he's nice and tight in that first one. Throws the power down. A little bit wide through the first one, which compromised the second, but again, good exit from him. Is it enough for pole? He's coming down to the line. He has improved. It's an 18.1. He's up to 4. And Brandon is out. I think he's lost it at the top of the long right-hander, which is easy to lose there. Let's jump on board with Ryan. He's flat out around here. Maybe a little lift, and you can see Brandon's wheel on the right-hand side. So he's obviously pinned it through there and lost the rear end, I'd assume. But Ryan is a 10th up. We're coming into sector 3. I've said it before, and Ryan's done a purple second sector. So if he can nail this final sector, might see him chuck it on pole, and that's a good start. Takes the pace. He's carried a lot of speed through there, which is perfect. Get on the power. Keep off that sausage curb if you can. And now it's flat out to the line. Has he done enough? He has. 17.7. Well done, Ryan. He puts it on pole. Who else have we got? I don't. Oh, and Cav spins it. I was just about to join him. Is Reliot out on a lap? He's improved slightly. He's just going to move over the line into the last corner. And where's this going to put him? He stays 15th with a 19 flat. So, haven't been on with Bog, but he looks like he's a second down, so his qualifying has finished. Jens looks like he's finished. Axel spun, so that's his qualifying finished. Little Mikey trying to improve, but I think he's half a 10th down, so I'm not sure this is going to improve him. Let's jump on with Jordan. See if he can improve. A little bit wide through the first chicane, but nails the second one. A little bit slow. Is he coming in? He has. So I think that is qualifying over, and I think we are going to be, yeah, because Ryan is also 2 seconds over his best. So that is your order then. So Ryan nicks it right at the end with a brilliant lap. So Ryan will be in pole position. Nelboy looked like he was going to dominate this for a long part of qualifying, but I don't think he'll be too displeased with second, so we'll see what he can do. Again, his race in Australia, very unfortunate. He made a really good double move in sector 3 and just got a little bit hung out to dry. In my opinion, a bit of a racing incident. He might feel a little bit differently about it, but good racing from him. He starts in P2. Reek, we saw him up there in Australia as well. He starts in 3rd. Brandon, the league's tipped man for the title, in 4th. So good starting position. He's gonna need to get a few points tonight. Jens had a very good qualifying in Australia. Didn't make it really off the start-finish line last week, so he's going to want to win this race and do some damage to the leaders in the championship. Dopey Man, we saw solid performance. He starts in 6th. Bog, I believe, finished in 4th last week, and I think he got the vote for driver of the week, so well done to you. and he starts in 7th, so another solid start from him. And I will go through the rest of the order once the cut screen finishes. So we were with Bog in 7th. We've got Axel in 8th in the Alpha Tauri. Wardy, again, he was pushing the car very hard in quali, and as you can see, it's only a half a second really that's split in the top 10. So Wardy in 10th. Tom, I'll call you Cass for the sake of the stream, in 10th in the Aston Martin. He wasn't here last week, so we'll see what he can do. Tom in 11th in the Haas. Little Mikey, who was a podium sitter last week, in 12th. Jordan in 13th. Skipper in 14th. And let's just see if we can get to the end before the timer runs out. Rayliat, Guncher, Composite, Cav, and Benny in 20th. And I think a lot of the field might be relieved to see Benny at the back because he is stubborn. He's hard to overtake. So see how he gets on in the race. He will take advantage of early safety cars. I wouldn't be surprised to see hard tyres on his car to start the race and see if he can gain some positions through safety cars. Not sure what the weather's going to do. I think it looks sunny at this stage, which I think the drivers will be relieved about. I raced in Division 1 last night and it rained the whole race. I wouldn't call it fun. But I think these drivers will definitely prefer it in the dry. A lot of people tend to run their practice in the dry. Just a little update from the drivers, really. I think a lot of the drivers today, if we're looking in the chat, I don't think anyone was claiming that they're quick here. So maybe playing some mind games on each other. So no one's fancying themselves for the win. But as you can see, we've got Nellboy and Ryan in the top 2. So let me see if we can have a quick look at strategy. I must say I'm good at this game. I'm good at this commentating game. Benny's on the hards. Tom Putty, the only other person that's opted for hards. I think this track is a one-stop and it is a medium hard. As Jens hasn't even got off the line, not sure what's happened, but he will have some cold tyres to start the race. And I think there could be a bug in the game at the moment where everyone does start on cold tyres, so I don't know if it will hinder him that much, but we'll see if that got fixed in the patch that came out this week. But yeah, all the drivers opt in for medium. I assume they will go on to hards later in the race. It might turn into a 2-stop if we get an early safety car, but I do believe those mediums will run a little longer than the prediction, but we'll see what happens as the race goes on. Just as a quick reminder of what happened in Australia, I'll have a quick run through the results and the standings. Let me just get to the details. So we've got Dopey Man, who actually got awarded the win in the end. I believe Ryan might have had an incident that went to the stewards, which put him down into 3rd. Little Mikey took 2nd, so some more points for him. And then we had Bogorovsky in 4th, Cav in 5th, Skipper in 6th, who was reserving, Guncher in 7th, Benny in 8th, Hims in 9th, and Brandon in 10th. Nellboy came 11th, but everyone him and below DNF'd. So that's the standing so far. Ryan will look to try and control this race early. I think when you see people disqualified on that left-hand side, it's because they've overjumped their marker. But let's try and go with the broadcast view. We've got 5 lights. Long wait, and they're away. Let's just have a quick look at Ryan. He's got away well. He's pulled away from Nellboy, but he's straight under pressure from Brandon. He's up into 2nd place. Let's jump on board with him to see what happens behind him. And Nellboy has lost a position, but he's not going to be too disappointed with that. He's still in third, and it looks like Wardy is out early, and there's two other cars, Benny and Cav, at the first corner. So you can see Wardy there on the right-hand side. I don't know if he's had contact or whether something else happened here, but I'm going to make the assumption that we've got a virtual safety car out. We have. Looks only to be a virtual, and Ryan has got off the mark really, really quickly. He's already got a second and a half gap. I don't know if that will maintain that or whether Brandon's just sitting back on the Delta. I know Nelboy certainly is, because he was very close to Brandon through that first section, so I assume that gap will drop just before that virtual safety car ends. So I believe Axel has made up a lot of places. Let's just have a look at the places gained. He has. He's made up 4 places, and Kaz behind him's made up 5. So they've obviously had flying starts off the line. Well done to you two. And we're green again. We're racing. And yeah, Ryan has maintained that 1.2 second gap. Nelboy is 1.7 behind, so it must have happened to him just before the safety car come out. He's under pressure from Axel, doing a bit of weaving to try and get rid of the slipstream, but Axel's not going to be close enough into turn 1. Let's jump on board with Axel, see what impression he can make. So, up 4 places, he wants more than that. He's got Cass behind him, who's trying to put some pressure on him. And I don't think they'll want to fight too hard, because those 2 or 3 out in front might just start to pull away. So, see what happens. We've got Reap, who looks like he's quite close to Dopey Man. And I think Little Mikey we've seen just overtake Composite a bit further down the field. So, pretty clean start. We have lost Wardy. Not sure what happened, whether he spun or got a hit. I'm not sure. He was in the middle of the pack. So, unfortunate for him, he will be disappointed. The Alphas, I don't think either of them made it to the end, so he will be disappointed. They didn't make it to the end in Australia, sorry. So they will be disappointed to have lost that. But let's just work our way down the field quickly. So, Dopey Man maintains his 6th position. Reap did lose a lot of places off the start, as Jens did. He lost 3 places. Bog is down 2 places, but again we'll see. Bogorowski will literally hang around and try and pick up the pieces on people's mistakes, and he's not going to be easy to overtake, and Jordan is the one hunting him down. He's about half a second back. Radio up 4 places, so a great start from him. He's got Tom Putty behind him, putting a bit of pressure on. He's lost 1 place. Do remember though, he's on the alternate strategy. He's on hard tyres, so he'll be looking to play the long game here. Runs a little bit wide, but keeps the momentum of the car, so no damage done. Skipper's up a place, and he's just trying to keep that second gap to Tom Putty for when the DRS turns itself on. I haven't seen the message yet. I may have missed it, but we will certainly see at the end of this lap if it is on. Little Mikey down 2 places. I think he has made a move on Composite already. So he's making his way back up the field. I'm just going to jump on with Reap because he's getting close to Dopey Man, but not quite close enough to make it stick into the hairpin. So let's watch him through Sector 3, see if he can get a good exit out onto the main pit straight. So we're 3 laps in, about to be 4. As Guncher gets past Composite and Benny goes past as well. So I think Composite might have had a spin through the left-hander. As Dopey Man does have DRS on the car in front, and Reap runs a little bit wide. It's going to compromise his exit, but the straight line speed, he's got a lot of straight line speed on Dopey Man, so I think that's going to be his overtaking spot. He's going to want to do it down the pit straight. So, and he spun it! He spun it! Let's hope no one cleans him up. Jens gets through on the inside. And the McLaren of Jordan does well to miss him there. I think he's now recovered. So Reliot takes advantage. Tom Putty also gets through, and Skipper is trying to get on the back of him. So unlucky for Reap there. He was closing in, but just got a little bit too heavy, either on the throttle or just too much. Turned too much into the corner to try and make it happen, but his race is certainly recoverable. It's not over yet. and he's going to be looking for DRS out onto this back straight, but couldn't quite keep the power down, and that's probably because of the wings that he's running. But his opportunity will be along that pit straight. You can see how fast he was on Dopey Man. And I think this is the closest battle on track currently. So we'll stick with it, see what he can do down the back straight. He knows he's got Tom in front of him who's playing the long game, so he'll want to get this done as soon as possible to try and recover his race. So a much better exit out this time. The DRS is open. But Tom looks like he's got a lot of straight line speed here as well, so he's not made the same impression as he did on Dopey Man. So this could be a little bit fatal for Reap's race tonight, because if he does get stuck behind Tom, who is on the alternate strategy, who looks like he's trying to make a move on Mikey, didn't quite have enough to get through him. But again, he's got a good exit, decides to be patient. Sensible from him so far. And now really it's about keeping it tidy up to the back straight. Runs a little bit wide, so I don't think he's going to quite be close enough. But Skipper's got past Reap, who's gone round again, and that's got to be careful coming back onto the track there. Gunsher does well to miss it. Let's join Tom again, who again is making headway on Mikey, but just not there. Not there by the end of the straight. So again, he's just got to keep it tidy out of Sector 3, and if he can, I'd put money on him being able to get through. Just got to keep it tight to this left-hander, open up the right. Does a reasonable job, but get on the power. Mikey's done a very good job on those medium tyres. I think that's just protecting him from Tom at the moment. But Tom is doing a very good job on those hard tyres, and you can see the speed he's got down the straight. Is he going to be close enough to have a lunge? He doesn't, he backs out of it. He's being patient. And we've got Axel, who looks like he's made a move on Kaz. Not sure if he did or whether that's a bit of a glitch, but little Mikey has got through on, I think Skipper might have been challenging little Mikey actually. I'm not sure he's got through. I think he just maintained his position. But I think Tom is really trying to push Reliot around the track here. Which if he can hang on to the back of Reliot, he's made the right tyre choice. Let's see how much closer he can get. Again, he looks a little bit too far back to make the move. Can Skipper do anything with Lil Mikey? I think he's in a very similar situation. So all about being patient out onto this pit straight. And he throws a lot of speed into it this time. He's a lot closer this time. So again, you can just see the traction difference. Mikey's getting out of that corner so quickly. But the straight line speed of Tom, with his DRS open, he's going to be a lot closer this time, and I dare say he's going to get through. So they're side by side into the first corner, and Mikey pulls out of it. Tom gets the job done, and this alternate strategy is going to work wonders. If he can stay safety car free for a little while, and he can run these tyres a little bit longer into the race, as little Mikey gets through on his teammate. Wonder if that was team orders. I think little Mikey might have put his stamp on the #1 seat. As Reap looks like he's trying to make his way back up the field. He's now on the back of Gunsher, so let's join this battle very quickly. As the top 10 look really spaced out, to be honest. About a second in between each pairing, so we'll keep him bored with the battles that happen further back in the field. Reap qualified really well. You can see he's down 12 places, and he has got some good straight line speed on Gunsher here and will get to the job done, but Gunsher's trying to hang it round the outside. But Reap gets the job done, and he's starting to open up a gap already. So Reap will now be looking at Skipper, who is behind Reliot now. And I think little Mikey was let through by Reliot, because you can see how quickly he's onto the back of Tom Putty. And again, the straight line speed with the DRS open. I assume he's using his ERS. He gets it done early, so no notable action to go into turn 1, but a good overtake from Mikey nonetheless. Again, just picking up positions where he can, and there's a spinner of Jordan. Just got to be careful how he gets back on the track. Reap comes around, he's on the inside. I think he's done his best to stay out the way, but he may have beached it. No, he's got off it. Well done. Well done, and well done to everyone who has managed to avoid that incident. Let's have a look at Jens. Will be disappointed with his Australia finish, but he's made it to lap 8, so much better this week for him. As Nellboy gets through on Brandon, because Brandon's run wide and he's struggling to get back on the track, and it's let Cass and Axel through, so Brandon having another troubled week, and you can see his tyres, well, they're shredded. And has he got damage? The camera angles aren't really helping me here. I don't know if he's got damage, but that allows Dopey Man, Jens through. Let's go to the tyre choices and see what he puts on. I think he has moved on to the hards, so he'll be looking to run to the end of the race. Not sure whether he's spun. He wasn't near anyone at the time, I do believe, so a mistake from him puts him in the pits. He's going to have to do it the hard way again this week. On the hards, he's going to have to go to the end. They're going to be screaming by the end of the race, so we'll see how he gets on as the race goes on. But Jens, within half a second of Dopey Man, looking to put his first points on the board of the season. Just have to lift out, got quite a lot of fuel on board, so don't expect him to be flat through there at this stage. Seems to be maintaining that gap, but the DRS will help him down the pit straight, so it's just all about keeping it neat and tidy. And little Mikey has actually got past Tom Purdy. I missed that move, and he's now on the back of Bog. So let's jump on board with Mikey. And he actually taught me the look behind trick, so thanks, Mikey. Can give you a little bit more of the action. So cheers for the tip. And let's see if you can get the job done on your good pal Bogorowski. Great exit, already pulling out wide. Could have used a bit of DRS, but he doesn't. As Jens gets through at turn 1, little Mikey looks like he's got the job done on Bogorowski. So again, he's made 2 good moves down here now. And he will be looking to try and tag to the back of Dopey Man, but he's 8 seconds down the road, so a lot of work to do. His pit stop's going to have to be good. As Brandon goes back in the pit, so I'm not sure what's happened to him. Not sure if he's changing his wing. But as I said before, we just missed because we was on board with Mikey. Jens going through on Dopey Man. And you saw Jens's light flashing, so he used his ERS to make it happen. Reap looks like he's making his way back up the field. He's got Skipper, who's again had a light flashing, so he's struggling with his ERS management. So again, he's going to want a good exit out of here, and he has got one. And Skipper moves to the side. I don't think he's going to battle it too hard. He knows the battles to take. He moves out the way. Reap gets through, and he will now be looking to join the Baccarello. So Reap is making his way back up the field nicely. Dopey Man's doing a good job of keeping in that DRS zone of Jens, who has got a flashing light. So he's using that as, I think, probably to attack in the first place, and he'll be using it now to defend. He's going to have to manage that a bit better, because Dopey Man, it's not going to be long before he's back behind him, and I dare say he may use the DRS to charge his ERS up a little bit. Otherwise, the field is pretty well spread out. Brandon decided when he came in for the second time in 2 laps, he decided to come back out on the softs. I think he needs to make an impression on the field, so he's got to get a move on really, and I believe he's in the same sector as the leaders, so he can't afford any more mistakes, otherwise he will be lapped. And if a safety car comes out, he will be stuck at the back. You cannot unlap yourself on this game. So, yeah, he's going to want to get a move on. So, let's just run through the order. We haven't seen much of Ryan yet. He is currently in P1. He's maintained that 1.5 second gap, so really controlling this race. And you know, like he did in Australia, really, he had a bit of a couple of unlucky incidents that caused him to look like he was going to be out of the race, but took control under the safety car, kept a good gap, and we know he can manage his tyres. So good start from him. Nell Boy, he started second in qualifying and has pulled a 4-second gap out on Axel behind him. So not going to be disappointed with his position. I think he will look to attack after the pit stops. He might try the opposite strategy, try and undercut or overcut Ryan. He's certainly within striking distance. Axel, as we said before, has made up a number of positions. He's in third. Really good, solid race from him so far. Been mistake-free, as we see him clip a sausage curb, but doesn't look like it's cost him anything. Cass just braking into his DRS zone. He's in fourth. He's made up a number of places as well. He looks like he's going to want to try and stay within that DRS ready for the pit straight, so we'll come back to him shortly. Brandon sets the fastest lap, unsurprisingly on those soft tyres. We've seen Jens get past Dopey Man a short while ago. He's up into fifth. Dopey Man, our winner from last week, is in sixth. Little Mikey, our podium sitter from last week, in seventh. He's made up a number of places. And then Bogorovsky, he came fourth in Australia, sitting in eighth, holding position. He's got Tom Putty for company, who's on the hard tyres. He's been making some moves today, and looks like he may have been practicing a little bit in the off season. So good to see him moving his way up the field. Did say he'd be solid in the race, and he's got his DRS open, I assume. Bog looks like he's using his ERS to try and fend him off, but Tom's got the move done. Gets into turn one early, and away he goes. That strategy could pay off big time for him. So good stuff from you, Tom. Keep it up. Reliot has got Reap all over the back of him, who is making his way back up after a mistake, and he's trying to hang it around the outside, and I think he's got his nose in front, and it's all about the power down into turn three. He's going to get the inside line, and he's got it done. Reliot, I think he knew that he had given the inside line up there. So well done to Reap, making his way back up. Solid race from Reliot. He's, I said in Australia, he's moved from controller to Will this year. And he's doing a good job in this race, and he's hanging around. He can pick up some points. If he just sticks to the back of the points runners, he will certainly be in there. And it's been some good, clean racing so far. We did have an early safety, a virtual safety car. We haven't had a full safety car, so well done to all the drivers for that. And there's been a couple of spins done really well to avoid any accidents. So well done to everyone in the race. Skipper in 12th. Again, he's our and has Axel's lost it. As I said, he's mistake free, but he's tried to rejoin and he's hampered Dopey Man, and that is going to affect Dopey Man's race. I think his wing is off. Let's jump on board with him. Yep, he's got no front wing. It looked to me like a dangerous rejoin from Axel there after a mistake, and that has definitely hampered Dopey Man's race. I think it has caused the safety car as well. So Dopey Man might not lose out too much here, because I think everyone will dive into the pit. And what will be interesting is to see if Brandon pits. He does. So he is at risk if one of these front runners doesn't pit. He could get stuck behind them, but I can't imagine we're not going to see people pit. In my opinion, it's the right call, especially on the medium tyres. I think we're going to see Ryan come in. We are. I think Nell will follow. He does. Got Cass coming round next. Yeah, he jumps in. I think we will see everyone come in here. The only person, although it is nearly half race distance, may be a little bit early for Tom. Might be a little bit earlier than he wanted, but I don't think it's going to hamper him. We're half race distance by the time we get going, so it's going to work out for him. We have seen Dopey Man come in. I think we saw Jens come in. We have. Little Mikey's in. Yeah, I think everyone's in. Reap's in. Reliot's in. Tom Putty has stayed out. Interesting. He is banking on another safety car. 100%. That's the only thing he can be banking on. to carry on like that. So, it's a gamble. I don't mind a gamble. I'm a gambler myself. So, Tom, if that is the right call, hats off to you, my friend. Hats off to you if that is the right call. And we will come back at the end of the race and see where you finish. But you are going to need some help from a safety car, I think. But good luck. So, let's just go back through the order, because I think there's been a little bit of change. So we've got Racing Riot. He's controlled the race, I think it's fair to say, since the start. Nellboy has held down that second position from the start. Solid race from those two so far. Cass made a place up because Axel looked like he spun it. That's a bit naughty from Cass there. You're under safety car conditions. Keep your distance. Don't be a Cass. But again, he's made up a number of positions, so well done. Just make sure you don't do anything silly under the safety car and hamper your race. Jens going to be very, very happy with this so far. Let's see where he started the race. Got to get used to these menus. So he's upper place, and that will be good for his championship run. Tom Putty, who said did not pit, so he's going to be banking on another safety car. But we've said it once. Good luck to you. I hope that works out for you. Little Mikey came in. He comes out in 6th. He's made up a fair few positions. He's up 6th. So he's going to try and sneak that podium again and sort of rooting for your mate. Dopey Man, very unfortunate to have his wing ripped off there. I think the stewards might want to take a look at that rejoin from Axel. He's definitely got the ability to recover. But Mikey spun it! Mikey! Oh, you can't say I cursed you, my friend. You can't say I cursed you. But I am going to say you're now in 13th, so you might be... Oh, okay. You got away with it. You're not in 30th. You got lucky. But anyway, Reap done a really good job of recovering after an early spin. I think he spun a couple of times. He's back into the points. We know he's got the pace. You can see that he's been all over the back of everyone that he's come up against. So again, do not write him off of a podium at this stage. He's going to want to make early moves. Bog, really solid race from him so far. He is down a position, but he has held his position very, very well. He's been really hard to overtake. Every time I've raced him, it's been a tough move. You have to get the job done early, or yeah, you're gonna find yourself in a bit of bother. So let's see what Bog can do. He can maintain that 8th position. I think he'll be happy with that. Axel had a spin, picked up some damage. So I think it's fair to say probably the cause of the safety car. He is coming in this lap, so very quickly Skipper makes up the top 10. We've got the 2 Ferraris. Relia, Little Mikey, we saw him spin under the safety car. Very unfortunate. He was doing a solid job, so he'll be eager to get back on with it. Gunsha 13th, Jordan 14th, Benny up to 15th, Composite 16th, Kevin 17th, Brandon 18th, and Wardy out. But let's join Racing Ryan. Gets a bit sideways, but he's getting on with it. Nellboy, it looks like he is just drifting away. He's got away from Cass. Cass looks like he's trying to do a bit of weaving to heat his tyres up, maybe to get rid of the slipstream. But Tom is straight on the offensive here. I wonder if his tyres were just a little bit easier to warm up. He's on the inside, and a great move from him. He's straight past Jens Hoffer, and I tell you what, he must have been practicing this pre-season, because he has found some pace here at Spain. Up into 4th. Like I said, if this staying out after the safety car pays off for you, then brilliant. But Dopey Man has to pull out. He could have hit Jens. He pulled out. Good job to stay out of the way of it, but I think Jens might be suffering with cold tyres. I know he used to struggle back in 2021 to heat his tyres up. I wonder if he's struggling, because I think he caught Dopey Man out into the braking zone. It's put him down into 8th. Axel has gained from that, and Reap has as well, who's trying to catch the back of Jens. If he can fire those tyres up, though, he won't be easy to pass, but got some work to do to try and get those tyres up to speed. So Reap's there. Let's see what happens onto the pit straight. Axel's right behind Reap. Dopey Man, sorry, had to pull out of the... it wasn't even really a move on Jens, to be honest. It was just thinking about who's the spin, Cass. Oh, he's had such a good race up to now, and he spun it. Him and Axel will both be really disappointed, but Jens now, he's got Reap behind him. He's trying to make a move on Tom Putty. He couldn't quite send it down the inside. I think it's a sensible move to back out of it. Tom doing an exceptional job on those 18 lap old hard tyres. Jens looks like he's now fired them up, so he's going to be well up for trying to get that place back. So, and there's an incident in Sector 1, it's a Haas, it's Cav. He has spun, and he gets out the well. So well done for getting out of the way. Benny, and he dropped to the back of the field. Reliot's dropped back as well. I don't know if he's made a mistake. I'm sure we'll hear about it after the race, but Benny's made his way up to 14th. He's on the back of Composite. I didn't see what tyres everyone is on. Brandon's come back in for the hards. He's ditched the softs after the safety car. Let's see if he can get a good run onto Composite here. His DRS is not open yet, so it should be on this lap. Okay, let's jump further forward because I don't think we're going to get any overtaking into these chicanes. So let's see if Reap can get a good exit. Jens is running very deep into the chicanes. Don't know if it's hampered his exit. I think he's got away nicely, and actually he's starting to pull away a little bit. DRS is on, but it won't get it down this straight. Let's jump up to Jens because he's starting to make gains on Tom. He's not going to be close enough. Let's watch it from Reap's angle. And Axel is also sniffing around this 4-car battle for 4 spots. Tom Putty's getting a little bit detached from Nellboy, and his looks like he's struggling a little bit more because of his tyres. I mean, they're 18 laps old. He's going to struggle in comparison, but he's got to keep doing what he's doing. He's got to back the field up. But I think the only unfortunate thing for him is that if the safety car does come, he's backing people up, and it means they're just going to be able to drive through him. But we have got a yellow flag in Sector 1, and it looks like it might be Cass again. Yeah, he's spinning, he's trying to rejoin the track, and that now puts him in last. He was running up in 3rd. Unfortunate for him. But Axel, let's join him again, and we can watch the 3 cars in front of him. Might be becoming a bit of a DRS train here, but very aggressive from Axel. Carries lots of speed through the chicanes. And as long as he gets a good exit here, you would think that he is going to have enough to get Reap, but he's going to have DRS too. He's going to have hers. Now they're side by side. Let's watch it into turn 1, because I think they're going to continue to be side by side into turn 1. He has to take the sausage curb, and he gets a tap, and he's gone round. I'm not going to comment too much on what that was. I think it was a bit of a racing incident. I don't think there was any intentions from anyone there. But that gives Reap a bit of breathing space again. So he can now concentrate on Jens ahead. Little Mikey's making his way back up the field after that mistake under the safety car. Reliot gets through on Axel, who I assume he's struggling with hot tyres. Assume he's gone round again. So Little Mikey had a really strong first half of the race. Made a mistake under the safety car. We'll be looking to try and regain a couple of those places. And Gunther is on his back for good measure, but we've got Skipper in front of him with a flashing red light. And we saw last week that Gunther does like to stick his nose in at certain points, so it's been interesting to keep an eye on him. But so far today has been clean. I dare say he may have learnt a thing or two from the race in Australia, but has been a lot more reassured today. Haven't seen any mistakes from him. Hasn't got as good an exit off the corner as Mikey, who has already made the move on Skipper. He was struggling with his ERS management. Let's see if Gunther can get the move done as well, and he can. So has he made it stick? He has, but he spun it on the sausage curbs. Gunther's round, and as I was talking about him not making mistakes, am I cursing people today? I think Mikey might start to suggest that I am. I was with him when he spun under the safety car, so he's not going to appreciate me staying on board with him here, but we're going to do it anyway. And yeah, he's trying to get back onto the exhaust pipe of fog. And Skipper, he thought he was going to lose 2 places down that straight and managed to recover 1, so he'll be happy with that. Jens is now within a second of Tom. I think he has been there the whole time, to be fair, but Tom has managed to pull a bit of a gap. He's just cleared the DRS. It's going to be marginal as to whether he's in it. But Reap is all over the back of Jens, and I wonder if this battle behind is just helping Tom a little bit. And he would want to break that second gap so he can start to build a little bit more of a gap, because he's going to have to pit before the end so he doesn't get disqualified for not using all compounds. But Reap is not making the inroads, so let's see if Mikey can. And I dare say he might be charging up his ERS from the move a little bit early on, but Brandon's made his way up the field. He's got Jordan behind him for company, and we can see Skipper is still struggling with his ERS management. He's got a flashing red light on the back of his car. Means he's under 10% ERS. We've got another yellow flag, which is the Ferrari of Mikey. Mikey. Oh, what could have been for you today, my friend? But we won't keep talking about it. I don't think he'll appreciate it. So, Brandon would say it was his teammate, but Skipper's a reserve driver, so let's see if there will be team orders. Doesn't look like there is so far, but Brandon has his DRS open. He's going to try and push the move on the inside. Maybe Skipper's kept it wide for him there, so maybe there were some team orders. So Brandon up into 8th, and now we'll be looking at the back of Bogorowski. So joining Reap again. Had a lot of on board. He's gone wide and picked himself up a 3-second penalty. You can see that Jens in front is burning his ERS, but he is a lot closer to Tom Putty this time and chucks it down the inside and makes the move stick. He's got a flashing red light. Tom will be seeing that, and he might even try and get the move back out of this corner, but got a little bit compromised by trying to go onto the inside, and is not going to be close enough on this occasion. So it brings Reap that little bit closer to Tom. I'm not surprised that Tom's tyres are probably feeling a little bit worse for wear after 22 laps. He is going to have to come in. He's got 10 laps to do it. He will probably hang it out to see if there's a safety car and jump onto the softs, see if he can make his way back up the field. He's shown some good pace today, so no reason why he can't do that. But Reap looking to get a good exit. He concentrated too much on the entry and gave up a little bit of speed on exit. But he is going to try and make the move, but backs out wisely. Tom had the right to the racing line, cuts back to the inside. And Reap lives to fight another day. Just needs to stay away from making those mistakes that he did early on. He's going to pick up some good points. Dopey Man looks like he's interested in this battle now. Our race winner from Australia is going to want to look to extend, but Reap looks like he's got a great exit. Tom's going to find this one hard to defend. Oh, just about, I would say, gets away with not having a double move, but good from Reap. Got a good exit, and he will like the fact that there's a little bit of fighting going on into that corner. Dopey Man's going to be right on the back of Tom Putty, and I dare say that his tyres are starting to struggle, but we haven't seen much racing at the front, so let's join it. Nellboy is within the DRS of Ryan, who has controlled this race from the start. So, can Nell get him by the end of the race? As we see Benny move up into 9th, overtakes Jordan. So, Nell will have noted that Ryan's red light, which means his ERS was below 10% a little bit earlier in the lap. And he keeps nice and tight to the left-hander to open up the right-hander and gets a really good exit. He's outside of the 1 second, but I think he did get DRS. Yep, he did. He just had enough over the line. Let's just join Brandon quickly as he is closing in on Bog. And he's got a very good exit here. He's just had to pull out of the throttle a little bit. He runs wide. I dare say he may have got a bit of a warning for that. But Dopey Man gets past Tom Putty. Let's go back to Brandon, who is side by side with Bog. And I think he's just about cleared him. He has. So Brandon up into 7th. He's going to be chasing down Tom on those 24-lap-old tyres. So Tom starting to struggle now. More of a tyre wear issue than anything else. And if this safety car doesn't happen soon, he is going to have to come in, and it's going to damage his points opportunity. But I like the bravery. He tried something different to the rest of the field, so can't fault him for that. As Axel comes in for softs, don't know if he's picked up damage or whether he's just going to try and nick the fastest lap of the race. But we're on board with Nellboy. Been very clean through this sector, keeps it tight to the left-hander, opens up the right, a good exit again. Seems to have sector 3 nailed. What can his straight line speed do? And I think Ryan is pulling out a bit of a gap, but you can see he's draining his ERS in front. So I wonder if Nell is just trying to bank a bit of ERS as Tom Putty does finally pit. Let's go back to Nell and we'll bring up the tyres to see what he decides to go on to. But as I was saying, I think Nell might just be trying to bank some ERS, and he will look to try and pounce a little bit later on in the race. Got 7 laps to do it. Tom does go on to the softs, good choice and good stint from him. And if he does get a safety car now, he is going to be on 2 compound softer tyres for the majority of the field, and will be very quick. We saw he's definitely got some pace, definitely picked up some pace, so he's been working hard in pre-season, so well done. And if this continues, he'll definitely beat that 25 points he got last year, so really looking forward to seeing him the rest of the season. But this gap seems to be maintaining itself at 7/10. Not the cleanest of chicanes from Nell in comparison to his last couple of laps. He has dropped back above a second. I think he is now using his ERS to try and get back into striking distance, because he doesn't want to lose that DRS advantage. He can use it to try and recover his ERS as he sits behind him. So yeah, really important to keep in the DRS range. You can see Ryan's light is still flashing. But you know, these two have really kept each other honest. Ryan's controlled it from the start. Nellboy's been in second from the start, and you can see they've got a 13-second gap to Jens behind. Who again, he's made up a number of places. He's had a really solid drive. I think he would have been disappointed not to be a little bit further up in qualifying, but you can't complain with being sat in a podium position. Reap, really good recovery drive from him. He's on the back of Jens, 4/10 back. He has picked up some penalties, and they're going to start to come into play now, so let's see if we can get some information on those. So I explained last week that you get a 3-second penalty, and as Axel puts in the fastest lap of the race with a 19.2 on those soft tyres, you get 2 warnings for going over the white lines, and that's when you have 3 tyres outside of the white lines, you will get a warning, and on your 3rd warning, that's a strike, and you get a 3-second penalty. As Bogorovsky and Benny seem to be fighting, and I think Benny's made up the position there, and it happened into the new layout on the track, the left-hander, so looked like Benny took the inside line, and Bogorovsky now in 8th. So Reap makes a move on Jens into the first corner, and Jens is still on the inside. He's giving him a tap, but Jens survives it. But he has got that 3-second penalty, so Reap would have wanted to get on with that, which is probably why he was a little bit more aggressive. Because now he needs to get 3 seconds up the road from Jens, which is not going to be an easy task. We've just seen Mikey take over Gunther, and they're still fighting, so let's go back and look at it. And little Mikey's gone through. I wonder if there was an illegal overtake, because it looked like he sort of gave the position back, but you can see the straight line speed that Gunther's got there. He managed to pull right back onto the gearbox of Mikey. So it'll be an interesting battle. Reliot managed to get through Skipper while we was on board with that as well. So just going to keep an eye on the gap with Nellboy and Ryan, because we haven't seen a lot of the leaders, but they're starting to get into fighting territory. Gunther's got Cav behind him. Haven't seen much of Cav tonight. So not sure if he's been struggling, but I haven't seen him much in the points. So and here comes Nell. Let's jump on board because it's for the lead of the race. And I dare say that Nell has been banking that ERS and is now getting on with it. So 3 tenths back, Ryan is still flashing. So if Nell has been able to hold on to some of that ERS, it's going to be in a great position. I'm just seeing if I can see it on his steering wheel. And I can't. So let's see if he can do it. He's got 2 straights to do it on. He can do it on the back straight, which is coming up after this left-hand, right-hand combination, and he'll have a helping of DRS. But again, he might be trying to bank some ERS and trying to do it onto the pit straight. So 6 tenths is the gap into sector 3. Just got to keep it neat and tidy. Nice tight line. Get it as tight to that curb as you can. Swing it back to the right. Keep it tight to the left-hander. Open up the right. He does. Get on the power early. He does. Ryan's got a good exit as well. 7 tenths back. He's going to get the DRS. You hear it click open. Ryan's light is already flashing. So as he made a mistake, you can see him rejoining the track. Lets Jens and Dopey Man through. Good recovery from Dopey Man. We saw him earlier get had lost his wing because Axel rejoined the racetrack and collected him. So great recovery drive from Dopey Man. Brandon's within 4 tenths of Reap, who made that mistake, and is gaining on him. This gap is still half a second. We've got another yellow flag, and it is a Red Bull, and I think it's Gunter. So Nellboy is within half a second. He was within half a second last lap, but I dare say that exit was a lot tidier this time, and he is now below that half a second mark. So it's all about keeping that that gap as tight as possible so that you can do it onto the pit straight. Rayleigh picks up a 3-second time penalty. Skipper's got 8 seconds of penalties now, and Axel's DNF'd. I didn't see that happen, so I'm not sure what happened to him. We've got yellow flags just ahead of us here actually with a Ferrari. So the gap 8 tenths. So Ryan seems to be a little bit stronger through that sector 3, but again you can see his lights flashing, and I think Nell might be banking his ERS again because you can see that the gap's not reducing. I think he's going to be banking it. He's got to get it done in the next 2 laps though, so he's going to have to get on with it sooner rather than later. I don't think there's too much else to talk about further back in the field. Tom Putty is catching Gunter, but we're going to stay on board with this battle for the lead because I think there is going to be a fight in this last couple of laps. I think Nellboy is going to be all over the back of Ryan's gearbox. We've got another yellow flag. It is a Ferrari again. Not sure if that's Relia or Mikey. Both had troubling races today. I dare say that it's Relia, but I could be wrong. So we saw 4 tenths into this corner last time, so Ryan's managed to just pad that gap out a little bit. So it's all about Nell being able to get this 3rd sector nailed down, because if he can match Ryan through this sector, it's going to make it a lot closer race, and you don't want to run wide there. And I think he's just hampered his exit a little bit, but he's a bit closer than he has been before. He's 6 tenths away, so Ryan didn't get away too well. You can see his red lights flashing already. He's using it hard to defend, but I think Nell, he's banking it again because he's not gaining too quickly, so he's going to bank it, and I think he's going to try and get it done on the last lap. And you can see Ryan got a bit out of shape into the first 2 corners. Nice tight line from Nell. It's all about Nell keeping that gap under half a second. It's going to be a great finish to the race, I think, and I'm really sorry to the rest of the guys in the field, but we're going to stick with it because it's a massive moment in this race, and could be a massive moment in the championship. Takes quite a lot of curb there now. I think he had to be cautious that he didn't spin it. He's done well to keep it in a straight line. The gap's still half a second. The exit out of this right-hander is going to be key. So can he keep it pinned? He does lift a little bit, but he's on the power. Ryan's light is flashing again. 4 tenths is the best we've seen it into this corner. It's just outside of that now. So again, Nell needs to hook this sector 3 up, put some pressure on Ryan, hope he makes a mistake, and he's going to want to start burning some of that ERS. So Ryan looks like he's been very neat and tidy, and that's a better line there from Nell. So let's see the exits round into this corner. I dare say that Nell is going to dump everything he's got now. He's not making a huge impression, but you can see he is gaining. So he's got one more straight to get this done, really. I don't think he will do it in a sprint to the line, because the line is very close to the last corner. So he's got to get this done down the back straight now. He's closing the gap ever so slightly. Can he keep it tight into this corner? Get on the power early, he can. That looks neat. 4/10, the closest he's been through here. So again, don't outbrake yourself. Keep on the traction. Good from Nell. Ryan's light is flashing already. It's what Nell needs to see, but he needs a good exit off this right-hander, and he needs to chuck it into this last corner. I dare say this is going to be the last overtaking opportunity. He's run a little bit wide. It goes out to 6/10. We know he's going to be too far back from previous laps. So can he try and force something? As we've got Dopey Man trying to make a move on Jens, but we are going to stay with the lead of the race. Dopey Man just a little bit too far back. He can't get it done. But again, Nell, look, this is the neatest he's looked through here tonight, and that's a great exit again. But I think Ryan is going to come round to win the race. Well done from Ryan. He's dominated it from start to finish. Nell, great race from you two. Really made it interesting at the finish there. It's a shame Nell couldn't get that a little bit closer, but great racing from you two. Jens done really well to get up into third position. He's got Dopey Man all over his rear end at the moment, but he will come over the line in third, up 2 places. Well done. Dopey Man in fourth. Reap had a bit of an up and down sort of race, and Brandon benefits from that. Moves up into fifth because of the time penalties. Benny Buno from 20th to 7th. I haven't seen much of you today. Well done, Benny, to get up there. Bog, probably been around 8th most of the race, so again, good stuff from you to maintain your position. Jordan looked like he tried to make a challenge at the end there, up 4 places, good from him. And Cav said earlier in the stream we didn't see much of him, but he's managed to force that last point spot, so well done to him. Kaz, oh man, you were in the podium places. You'll be kicking yourself for the mistake. But ends in 11th, made a bit of a recovery drive. Tom, whew, you tried to make it a little bit different, didn't you, with your strategy? And I'll tell you what, if you'd got the safety car, I think it would have paid off for you. You had the pace. I think it was a huge gamble to stay out under that safety car. I think if you had that situation again, I think you would pit. But hats off to you for trying it, and great effort. And you've certainly picked up your pace, so that's great to see from you. Let's just carry on going down the field. We had Gunter in 13th, Composite in 14th, and Skipper in 15th, who are our reserve drivers from Division 6. Little Mikey, I think the less said about his race, the better. Spun it under the safety car, and that's all we'll say. Really, he was having a solid race as well. I think struggled in the last third of the race. But well done for getting the car home. And then we have the DNFs of Axel and Wardy, who went out on lap 1. So, driver of the day. Oh, it's going to be a tough one. I mean, Ryan has dominated it from start to finish. I think there's arguments for both of these top 2 guys. Brandon's made up some positions after a mistake. Benny, the game's given it to Benny. I feel like I have to go with Race and Ryan for dominating the race today. And it's very close for you, Nell Boy, as well, because you put the pressure on at the end. But I think if you had won the race, you definitely would have been getting it. But hats off to you, Benny, as well, from going P20 in qualifying to P7. So good work. Solid race from Bog. Jordan manages to jump into the points, and as we said from Cav, struggled a bit further down the end of the field, but you stuck in there and you got your point. So congratulations to you. And Cass, your first race of the calendar, got into 11th. Tom, good things to see from you moving forward. You're definitely one to watch. So maybe just a bit of work on the strategy. But good gamble, you tried it. Well done to you. Good race, pretty clean for the majority of it. Really good. Really enjoyed commentating on it. So well done, Ryan, on the win. Well done to the podium for Nelboy and Jens, and good recovery from Dopey Man as well. So for now, that's all. Good night, and we'll see you next week.